Thank you for joining us for Real Talk with Arlette. This show is about bringing a diverse group of ladies together to exchange ideas and share their experiences on topics that relate to women. So we're still continuing our series on self-care. So what exactly is self-care? Well, by definition, it is the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. So ladies, I'll ask you, do you practice self-care? Well, my guests today will share with you how they've been able to practice self-care while also being a single mother. So let's have some real talk. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. I'd like to first welcome my guests, Briana. We have Marschell and Lauren. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. So tell me this, how is it that you ladies have the same amount of time in a day that I have? I am not a single mother. How do you manage to get self-care in? And what does that look like? What does self-care look like to you?
I'll start for me, sleep.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Sleep. I have learned to use my village, for one.
Awesome.
I'm the type of parent that I like to have my daughter with me.
Okay.
I love her up under me. My children are 21 years apart. So
Wow.
it took time to learn. I learned from the first one on what to do with the second
Gotcha.
one. So the first one I didn't use the village, and it was really rough.
Okay.
And with this one, grandparents are involved. She has a little friend at school, and me and her mom are both single parents, and we're both over 40 with young children.
Wow.
And so we actually use each other.
Okay.
When we just need a couple of hours, even if it's just going to the grocery store, it's like, hey, can you watch her for a couple of hours or
Right.
something like that. So I use my village
Yes.
to get that time in.
Love it.
So,
That's awesome. I have a friend in Dallas, and she's a single mom, and I always think, man, if I still live in Dallas, we would be able to team up and help each other. But it's hard not having like other single mom friends to help you out, to understand like you need that extra hour in the day, or you need that carpool after school so you can run these errands after work alone. But yeah, that's what self-care is, just taking time for yourself, not burning yourself out. It's hard because you have so much to do personally, and you probably even have a lot to do for your child. And it is a lot, hauling them around all the time. And if you're in a rush, depending on their age, it can be a little difficult. So it does take a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise yourself. So for me, self-care is, like I said, taking time for yourself, taking an hour a day, or a day on the weekend, or a night on the week, and doing something for yourself, doing something to wind down. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh shoot, I forgot it.
recharge.
That's good. Recharge. That's really what it takes. Get ready for the next day, get ready for the next week, the next obstacle, because they're always coming your way, and you have to be prepared for it. You have to be prepared for it for yourself, and because there's a little one looking after you. So, yeah.
Literally looking after you.
Yes.
Well, I know, Lauren, hold that thought, Brianna. Not only are you a single mother, you work, and you have a book club, and you have a blog, and you have a business, and you are a working professional.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. That is a lot. And she still practices self-care. Love it. Brianna, what does self-care mean to you? How does that look in your life?
Therapy and booze.
Yes.
Therapy.
Yes.
For me, so I no longer a single mom, but when I had 3 very small children. And therapy. I went to a therapist once a week, and it helped. Just that outlet, that safe place to just really, like you said, recharge, and somebody to listen to what you have to say. And then every night, just once you put the kids to bed, just have that glass of wine, or for me, it was a vodka. And
We're not promoting alcohol.
And just, visit with your neighbor. I would sit on the front porch and just visit with my neighbor, or that time to, like I said, talk to somebody and help through those daily struggles that you might have had, or those wins, or even those loses, like that day you're like, oh, I really wish I could have done this, or been there for my child for this, and you weren't, because you're working, or in my case I was having to run another kid and do something with them. So it was just really talking through that and having that support network to help you get through those struggles and things. So
yeah. And I learned, even with my first child, I would go to work and I would be agitated. I would be so irritated. And one of the ladies there was like, what time does your child go to bed? And I said, we go to bed around 10:30, 11.
Wow.
And she was like, no ma'am,
No.
your child should at least go to bed a couple of hours before you do.
Absolutely.
But I didn't know that.
Right.
And I will say, my daughter has had heart surgery when she was a baby, so
Wow.
I do get a little nervous on certain things, but having my children is a blessing, having them 21 years apart, because I had that dry run, and then you learn what's most important. And I learned from the oldest one how much she watched me. Not take care of myself and take care of others.
Yeah.
So she developed that habit in her life.
Absolutely.
So with this one, I have to be the one to go in and say, okay, I need to drop you off somewhere, or just not somewhere, but with a parent, a grandparent.
As long as it's got to the fire station.
Exactly. And I will say, like I said before, I'm not one that's usually very open with people with my child.
Right.
And so I had to develop that. I had to learn that, okay, watch the person and develop a trust for somebody else that said, okay, look, why don't we get together and keep our girls together, and you get her one time and I get her. And it took a minute for me to do that. But do I use it all the time? No. However, when I really need it, absolutely. And therapy. So having a baby after 41, yes, I needed some therapy.
Therapy is awesome that you reached out and got that, because a lot of, I don't even want to say women, just a lot of people in general, they make it
taboo.
But they make it seem like it's such a bad thing to need help or to have someone to talk to. It's like, you need that.
But it's not even, therapy's not like something, I view it as not something that you go and do when you need help. It's like, it's just self-care. I mean, it's just a regular self-care. Like, you go to your doctor once a year just for a checkup. I mean, why not your mental health too? And, and I think that's a mentality that I feel like people don't view it that way. They go, oh, you're going to a therapist.
And that's probably where it all starts. It's just
Yeah.
how you view therapy, or how we're trained to view therapy. And it's because it's taboo. But it's amazing that you've...
I went because I needed help. I'm like, look, honey, I got this issue. and she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, so, and I literally needed guides. I need a step-by-step process.
Right.
I didn't just need to talk. I could talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I needed a process to help me to go through what I needed to go through in order to do better for myself.
Right.
I mean, I'm still learning. I don't.
We're always learning.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a makeup person. I don't do that type of self-care. I do more of the reading and the inner growth.
The journaling.
And yes, that's my thing, And also, more learning, because things have changed with having a young child at this point. It's not the same as 20 years ago.
How so?
So, I would say a lot of parents we always say we don't want to do to our children what our parents did to us.
Right.
And if each generation says that, then we lose a lot. Because you take a little bit from the first one and a little
Right.
bit from the second. Now that's
Right.
double. And
Right.
it keeps going away. So the respect that the children have or don't have today, it's different, because I'm teaching my daughter like I was taught.
Right.
Now, do I discipline her the way I was disciplined? No, but I do know that my mom, that's what she knew. So
Right.
she did what she knew. Well, I didn't want to discipline like my mom. I had to find other ways. But if I need to discipline like my mom, almost
Right.
definitely you're going to get it.
Right.
But, so I'm learning with her. I had to sit back and learn my child,
Yes.
go in the environments. I'm very active in school with her. You know, yes, I work. We're creating a business. She wants to have a business. My baby girl, that's
awesome.
one of the things that, I'm teaching her, because I want her to not have to go to work for someone else. So we talk about at this age, what can you do for yourself?
Absolutely.
And so we have a craft room and things set up. So that's also a way that I take care of myself, because I do sew and I do some art and build and stuff like that. But in the meantime, I'm teaching her the same thing, and we're learning together. So even though that's my outlet, I'm giving her outlets as well.
That's beautiful.
So,
absolutely
and
beautiful.
and I noticed that I am that parent that comes to pick her child up from daycare. And I have all these children running up to me, hugging me for some reason. And I'm like, okay, I don't know you. Do your mom know that you're hugging me? And they want to come to my house.
Wow.
And I like being that parent. And so I think one part of it is, not only do I give them love, I also give them a discipline that, oh, are you doing such and such? There's a correction there. And I've learned that children like correction.
Right.
And if they're running wild, then that other person that gives them that correction, they tend to venture towards them. And that's it's the same but yet different. There were more children with more respect when my oldest child was around, versus younger and younger, where I'm seeing little children just, oh my God, the words.
Yeah.
It's totally
It's
different.
it's different. And
It is.
you mentioned something about I believe it was you, Lauren, about not making the same mistakes as your parents. Or I just know, and yes, Lauren is my daughter, but I tell Lauren all the time, that was you, right?
Yeah.
I tell her all the time, take the good. I don't do everything right, but take the good from your dad and I leave the bad. And I've noticed that she, for me, I'm a control freak, and I felt like I had to do everything in the world for my family. I had to cook every single day. No, my family could not have leftovers. I had to cook every day. The house had to look like it belonged in a magazine every day. Everything has to have a place. But I worked myself half to death. And it wasn't until I was my kids were much older, that I decided that no, my house does not have to be perfect. If somebody decides that they want to just come unannounced, then it's okay. I love company. I love entertaining. It's just that we're going to entertain in an untidy house today. Everything does not have to be perfect, but caring for self, that's very important. That's at the top of my list. So she has, learned from my mistakes of trying to do everything. And she looked at me and she's like, no, I can't do all that. And being a single mom, she knew I have to prioritize. I have a kid to take care of. I'm in school. I'm a working professional and a business owner. You've got to prioritize. So, and Briana, you with the little ones, you had 3 babies. So I know there was a lot of time management.
Lots.
But all 3 of you work. I know that all 3 of you are working professionals. You want to talk a little bit about how you manage your corporate America life, as well as being a single mom?
Change schedules.
Okay.
I mean, for me, my daughter's getting ready to start a new school,
Wow.
and I'm going to have to change my schedule, and I don't mind changing it. It's like I've learned what's most important. You know, that was something big. That's a big difference between the 20-year gap.
Right.
Before it was like I have to work, I have to pay, and I was a single parent before.
Okay.
So that's what
Wow,
I'm saying.
okay.
Yeah, I was a single parent with my first child.
Okay.
And this one was a surprise, but you know, and I became a single parent with this one.
Okay.
But with the first one, it was I gotta work. I have to work, come home, cook, clean, do this. But I had to work because if I don't work, I have to. You won't have no clothes. We won't have a place to stay. We won't have this. We won't have that.
Wow.
And so work was most important.
Absolutely.
And I realized I missed out on a lot with my oldest baby. I'm sorry. Because I tell her, I'm like, she'll call me. She's like, Mom, you're doing so well with
Wow.
my little sister.
Oh, wow.
And she says that I did well with her, but I don't feel like I did well with her when I compare. And I shouldn't, but when I look at our lives and how different they are, with this child, I am present. I was there with my daughter. She was by my side, but I wasn't present.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that makes a difference. So when this one says, Mom, I need you, I drop everything.
Right.
And I'm there. So with work, if my daughter gets sick, I'm not saying, oh, well, we're going to take you to the daycare because I got to be at work.
Right.
No, this is most important. And work is at the top of the list as well.
Right.
But I know that if that job wasn't there today, this child will be.
Right.
And I'm still make it happen.
That's
I'm
right.
still, it's still
That's
gonna,
right.
you know, we're gonna make it through. But I have a very wonderful relationship with my manager, and we talk that through. So it's like, okay, I now need to go from this schedule to this schedule. Daycare is closed. You know, is there something else I can do? So it's that having that relationship and being, if you can,
Right.
you know, and that also comes with being open enough to say, I need some assistance. You know, because sometimes we just, this is work, my personal business, but your personal business can affect work.
Absolutely.
And so that's one of the things. I changed my schedule. I plan my vacations, you know, with field trips and stuff. Oh, give me the field trip list so I can know when I'm going to take off.
Good for you.
You know, so I do what I can to be present and also do it in advance so that it's not affecting work.
Hey, and don't you feel bad about not feeling like you did a great job with your first one? I tell Lauren all the time, okay, I messed up. I'm sorry, I messed up. They didn't give me a handbook. I did the best I could. With Jordan, I got a little bit better. I said, man, if I had a third one, that child would be perfect.
You know, I told my mother, I literally called my mom the other day and I thanked her. And I told her, I said, as a child, as an adult, my initial thing with her was to tell her all the bad stuff. And she had 3 children by the time she was 23.
Wow.
And they were basically 7 years apart. So she had me at 16, my other brother at 17, and then the youngest brother. And I would think of the things that she did, like, you wasn't present, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And I actually just this week called my mom and I said, you know what, thank you.
Good for you.
And I had to say thank you because I'm like, if you didn't do what you did, if you didn't raise me the way that you raised me, I wouldn't be the person that I am. In a sense of, you wanted an independent person, but your manner in which you did to make us independent may have not been the best.
Right.
But you accomplished your task.
Right.
You know, and that was the thing. It's like we may look at the negative side of it as when we're in that child state, and even as adults, we still look at our mom from a child aspect.
Right.
But then as we mature,
we
start to look at it
absolutely
for what it was and how it turned things around. And it lifted something off of her. Wow. You know, and that's kind of the thing, you know, even with my oldest daughter, she tries to tell me, and I know eventually I'm gonna accept it.
Right.
You know, but you know, that's one of the things. Yeah, some things may be harsh, or it didn't seem a certain way, the way as a child we may have wanted it.
Right.
But I was really grateful that I have my mom here to say that.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, because some people have lost their parent. And
We have some kiddos in the audience that are itching to come sit by their mothers. You girls want to come sit with your moms? Come on. Awesome.
she said bye, not all.
Somewhat.
She said bye.
Okay,
Mom.
so what I'd like to do is have you ladies share, if you could share one thing with a single mom that's watching today, what would it be?
Don't judge other mothers, and just because a mom is married and has a partner doesn't mean that their struggles aren't just as much as a single mom,
That's
if
right.
not even worse,
That's right.
because it can be, and always be there to support, but just don't judge, because you don't ever know what somebody else is going through.
Absolutely.
So,
That's a real good one. Real
Yeah,
good one,
'cause I've been
Briana.
married and with a child and now single. So yeah. I would say love yourself. Find out what that means to you. You know, because if you're that example to your child of what love is.
Absolutely.
And so find a way to, even if it's looking in the mirror and saying today, oh, I have nice hair today. Because if we're always trying to change something about us,
Right.
our babies are looking at that as well. So finding a way to take care of self
There you go.
is really beneficial, not just to ourselves, but to our little ones, because they live by example.
Right.
You can tell them whatever you want to tell them.
Right.
They're going to do what they see.
That's right. That's right. How about you, Lauren?
Mine would be to be the light that you want your child to follow. Taking time for yourself, even finding ways that you and your child can practice self-care together. For me and her, we like to paint together. We like to go to dance class together, and I'm trying to find different things that is taking care of me, but is also providing a way for her to learn how to take care of herself. And yeah, and
right.
keep that going.
One day, I want to go to dance class.
See, she likes dance class, so now we go to dance class together. We're just
That's awesome. That is, ladies, that is some real talk right there. These are 3 awesome single moms. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here. It has truly been a blessing to hear your stories. And I am certain that there are ladies that are out there watching that will be inspired and empowered and educated by you sharing your stories today. So thank you all so much.
thank you for
I have
having
something to
us.
say.
And so I'm so sorry. Let's hear what you have to say.
So me and my mommy together, we like to do different things. Like we clean up the house together, paint together, play together, and we share love with each other.
Oh my God, I love it. That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. So for those of you that are watching today, thank you so much for joining us. If there are any topics that you would like us to cover on the show, or better yet, if you live in the Houston, Texas area and would like to be a guest on the show, please feel free to reach out to us at realtalkwitharlette.com and click on Let's Talk. So until next time, I would encourage you to be faithful, be fearless, but most importantly, be yourself.